Hey, thank you for checking out this video. It is on thermopiles and thermopile wiring. So I got called out to this job. Really cute dog right here. Got called out to this job to check out a water heater. They said they had no status light on the Honeywell valve and wanted me to come out and take a look at it and see if I could fix it. So that's what I do. That's the water heater right there. So just turning the water heater on so I could check out, measure the thermopile voltage and see what's going on with it. Thanks again for watching this video.
What do you think happened?
Oh, I have no idea. What do you think
I tried
happened?
that for a long time till my finger went numb.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. And I never got a light. Not a bad light or a good light. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
We'll find out.
Even when I was a teenager, I worked as a shop helper over on North Island.
Right.
And I was bringing in, just as a little helper, I was bringing in like 300 or 400, and that was that. My dad was only bringing like 500 a weekend, so I was like really close to him. You know, just as a kid, just sweeping floors.
Yeah, that's great.
So I can't understand that I'm making about what I was making when I was a lot of really weird rules. Like, for example, I could get harassed for the city of San Diego.
So you got plenty of thermopile voltage?
Mm-hmm.
Plenty. You need 300. It's still going.
So
it's not going on in here. There's nothing. Whatever's going on is not going on
I
inside
said,
here.
because this status light isn't coming on, it's not telling you that it's normal or a system problem. So it's like it's malfunctioning somewhere inside of it.
Okay, well, it came up.
Yeah, there it is.
That's my little cheater box right there.
Mm-hmm. So it's the wire.
Yeah, it thinks it's.
It thinks it's connected.
It thinks it's connected, exactly.
Does that simplify it?
A little bit. I mean, this wire is real tough to change out.
Hey, so I'm retesting the thermopile here. Just trying to move the wires around, hoping to reestablish the voltage back to the valve. So that's what I'm doing here, and then I'm testing it again because I don't really understand why it's showing me the thermopile voltage yet not powering the valve cover or the motherboard. So I do that for a while and I test that against a few different valves. I take a valve cover out from my truck, test it against that. Usually it'll come up if it's getting voltage. And I test that against a fully assembled valve. Oh, there's that dog. What a cutie. So there I am testing the valve cover on its own, and it does not respond. Then I test it against the valve to the right there. Alright, so an important lesson to learn here is that you can test thermopile voltage and have your valve not work, and actually it's the thermopile. So that's unfortunate. It can be a little tricky. So I work with these all the time. Typically when you test the voltage, you can find a loose wire. I never saw any loose wires. So I spent a lot of time trying to get it to work, and it didn't work. So now what I want to do here is I've clipped off a section of thermopile that just has the connector on the top with wiring, and I'm stripping back the wires and I'm going to rewire so I can take advantage of that thermopile, because I know it's good. I know it's putting out 650 millivolts or 620 millivolts, so I want to use it. And I've done this before in the past. So you basically just cut the wires, you strip back sort of this rope coating over the outside, and then there's a sheath, like a pink sheath over the copper wire, and you have to strip that back. So it's kind of labor intensive, but you get it all back to bare copper and connect those lines together. And I've had it work once or twice, but I've also had it not work just as many times. So I think I'll be abandoning this procedure going forward because I'm just tired of wasting time on it. Right, so I've got the wiring put together. You can kind of see the wire nuts there. They're in red. They're just below my hand right now. I am trying to power up the valve, but it's not working. And eventually I abandoned it. This is the pilot assembly that I'm going to replace. So I'm going to put a brand new pilot assembly in with a brand new thermopile with wiring that I know is good. And long story short, you can splice those wires and repair it. I have done it in the past. It just didn't work for me on this particular trip. And I spent probably 45 minutes, maybe an hour trying to make that happen. So what I end up doing here is pulling the burner assembly out, and I switch that back out and put that in. And it worked like a charm. Fired up right away and took care of all the issues. So a little lesson to me is whatever
No,
the
but I
shortest
got a
path to the
replacement
repair,
pilot
I should definitely
assembly.
take that.
Put that in there, 'cause nothing. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do, right?
Alright, so once again I do get this water heater working. I get it working by replacing the pilot assembly, which is the pilot tube, the thermopile, and the Pizio spark wire, which I should have done in the beginning. I could have knocked this job out in a half an hour, but I chose to try and rewire the thermopile voltage wires, which are red and white, but that didn't work for me on this particular trip. Actually, towards the end here, my camera dies, and you don't actually see me reassemble it and fire it back up, but take it from me, that does definitely happen. Really appreciate you guys watching this video. If you like videos like this, hopefully you learned something. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.
What are you doing? What are you doing? No. 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 Ow. What are you? What are you doing?